Well, here we are. It's Friday, September 9th, 2022. My name's Larissa, and waking up here, having my cup of coffee. Truth is, I've been awake for quite some time, right? I've been awake since about 1:30 this morning. It's generally when I wake up. Between 1:30 and 2, it's generally when I wake up. And I've talked about this before. I have a theory about this. So 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning here is Omar. He's outside. He's funny. It's about 4:30, right? Like 4:30 East Coast time, where I was born, right? I was born around 5:30. So, that time in the morning, it's when I was first coming into the world. And my whole life, I've woken up at that time. Now, I don't get up out of bed anymore at that time, right? And nowadays, I have significant physical discomfort. And once Omar gets up out of bed, then I generally have some sleep, and for an hour or two. And I think part of that is because I am listening. I stay awake, dealing with my discomfort and just listening to be ready. I don't know, in case like a tree comes down and we gotta get out of the house, or fire comes down the hill, or we gotta get out of the house, or somebody comes in the house and I gotta defend, right? And then once he's up, then I can sleep. I do. I sleep for a couple hours until he brings the coffee. And that's our morning, right? I don't know. After so many years, you settle into your routine, right? Married 22 years, been together for 24 years, known each other for nearly 30 years. It's a long time. It's a long time to get to know someone, right? In this physical form. I truly believe that we all know each other anyway, right? I believe that everybody that comes into your life that you've had dealings with before in previous lives, which, as I have said before, is kind of a misnomer, because I don't believe in multiple lives. I believe in one life, many cycles, right? One life, many cycles. So did I. I got some things to do. Yesterday, hmm, yesterday, I couched the largest piece of handmade paper I have ever made. Up until this point, the largest piece I had ever made, well, it's hard to say, because previously I had done, like standard page sizes, and then I used that window screen to make the paper that I used for those book covers recently, right? Well, yesterday I used a larger window screen, and I poured the remaining paper pulp I had, because I didn't want it to mold and get nasty, because it would have molded. I wanted to use it all. So I poured. And pouring paper is also a technique. Poured it over the screen and then shook it until it was all level, right? And then flipped it. And then I dropped some color into it. So it'll marble some. We'll see what it looks like when it dries. It'll be very cool. I have to decide what I'm going to do with it. I had thought I was going to do something with it specifically, but then I was thinking, oh, maybe not, because of the way that the color. It depends on how the color spreads in the paper when it's finished. I was going to use it for some packaging, but almost like, oh, I think you should use it for something else. He's probably right, because it's pretty and it takes effort to make and it takes time. I'll probably end up making more stationery with it, like I did with the other paper that I had pulled. Probably it's what'll happen with it, you know? But I did that yesterday, and then I did some wire wrapping for some jewelry sets that I've been working on. They're not, it's nothing extravagant. They're simple, but they're nice, right? I really need a retail space. See, normally I start making all this stuff and it's what I send out for Christmas gifts to people, but it's like this year, I don't know what I'm going to do. I think nieces and nephews are just going to get checks. I don't know, maybe not. Who knows? I never hear from anybody. I never hear a thank you from anyone. And, well, that's not totally true. My Aunt Norma said thank you last year for their gift. And my parents say thank you. And I don't give gifts for the thank yous, but it's nice to know, especially when you spend as much time as I do on things, making things and collecting things, right? Like I shop for Christmas all year round. And it's not about like, oh, how much I spend or whatever. But I try to, because I don't see folks, send something that will give them some joy and a positive memory of interaction with me, because nobody interacts with me ever, right? My family could give a shit about me, really, right? So that's the other things. Like I don't wonder. It's like, why do I spend all that time and effort? So I don't know, because it is a lot of time and effort, especially when you make things and you think about people. I don't just make things and just like I consider people when I'm making things. Like, oh, this reminds me of this one's personality, or this one would really like this, or this color, or this will make this person laugh, or this will be nice. This will be a nice family activity, or, there, I consider, I think about things. And so it's kind of that, because I spend so much time on those things, it makes it really hurtful. I don't even like hear back. Like I found an obituary the other day for my Aunt Sylvia. Now, Sylvia and I had exchanged Christmas cards for the majority of my marriage, right? And so they never told me that she died. Nobody told me Sylvia died. They never tell me anything. It's like I don't even fucking exist. I think they all hate me. They all hate me. They all treat me like crap. Whenever I do see any of them, they treat me like crap. So I don't know. I don't know. It'd be nice to have a retail store and sell these items that I make with so much love. So, other people can give gifts that are thoughtful and made with love. Beyond all that, like I always go out of my way to make sure that things are shipped And that's the expensive part. The shipping is really, really the expensive part, right? So I don't know. Oh, I used to send a little something to Queen Elizabeth. I did. And she wrote to me on a number of occasions, personal letters. We had personal correspondence, which I was always very touched. It's somebody who is that busy and had that many. She could take the time to write me a damn letter, right? She could take the time to write me a damn letter, but my own goddamn mother can't. Or my sisters, for that matter. I don't know. I might put some henna in my hair today, some color in my hair. It could use some brightening up, right? I got a couple errands I might run today. We have this antique stove that works, right? Not well, but it works well enough that we've been using it for almost 5 years now. Really cool stove. And we're going to get it refurbished. We're going to get it refurbished. It's going to be really cool. It'll be really nice to have a fully functioning stove. It'd be really nice. Really, really nice to have a fully functioning stove. Oh, God, I'm going to lay back down for a minute. Oh. I had considered going roller skating yesterday, but I just didn't feel up to it. Plus, I was in the middle of stuff and I wanted to finish what I was working on. Or the part of what I was working on. I didn't finish what I was working on yesterday, right? Got the earrings for the jewelry sets done, and I got the pendants wire wrapped. Now I have to make the cordage for the pendants. And then I'll need to make the little packaging because I have a cute idea. It's what I had pulled that paper for, but I don't think I'm going to use it for that. Like I said, I think I'm going to use that paper to make some more stationery. You know. Watching that. Watching Elon rev his engines yesterday. Oh my God. Setting fire. I don't know. Does he own that property all around that? He really needs to move shit away from there if those engines are gonna flare like that. And what the hell happened with that dumpster fire? It was interesting. Like, spent all that time watching that dumpster burn. That was right there on the launch pad there, and then they didn't even mention it in any of the news. Like, the brush fire really isn't that big of a deal in that area, right? The big deal was at the dumpster that caught on fire that was like yards away from the launch and from the engines, and then that dumpster being in proximity to the fuel storage tanks. Oh my God. Oh my God. There would have been a crazy explosion if that had caught on. So all that debris needs to be moved out. I think he needs to buy up property around there more if he hasn't already. And I think the landscaping needs to be tended to. They should do a control burn, take down all of the grass, and put down rocks. And it would be probably it'd be a good idea to put down like lava rock, right? mm Lava rock, and then if you're going to have any kind of landscaping around the perimeter, have it be succulents. I mean, that would just be for aesthetics, really. Because that blowback, that was only six of those engines. Well, you have 33 engines. It was only six of those engines. You got 33 in there, and they're talking about worrying about the tiles coming off, like the tiles that came off on Challenger that made that's the reason Challenger failed, was because of the insulation tiles that came off, right? You got tiles, and that's what they're talking about. They're all worried about the tiles. Don't worry about the tiles. Worry about everything that's all around there too. I mean, wouldn't that suck to have the rocket go up, blow up, and burn the entire surrounding area? 33 engines. There was only six that you fired yesterday. And that dumpster, oh my gosh. And then you couldn't even get anybody in there? What was that about? Why couldn't you get the fire department in there? They were all standing around with their thumbs up their asses. That dumpster. And the other thing I wonder about is, like, was it really the engines, or was there arson involved in that? I think it's very suspicious, right? I think it's very suspicious because he's done engine revs with more than six engines before, so it doesn't sit right. It doesn't sound right to me that it was those engines that caused that fire. I think I think it should be investigated, because I could see right now, there's all these politics around Artemis, and now everybody else is shooting stuff off into space. The other day France got the heaviest payload to date, right? Was delivered, and meanwhile, here's Artemis sitting on the launch pad, waiting to go, because there's been so much bureaucratic red tape and too many chefs in the kitchen, so to speak, right? Design issues, whatever. And then, after the last scrub, Elon sends 50, what was it, 51 satellites up there, and there's all the bullshit with Boeing and whatever. So, like, I could see somebody being petty and shitty and starting that dumpster fire. hmm And on their way out, lighting shit on the lighting that grass fire too. I could see that. I could see that, because people are shitty like that. People are shitty like that, like people who come here on my property and destroyed vegetation, right? Because human beings are like that. It's awful. It's really, really awful. Anyway, Elon, everybody's trying to make it sound like it was your engines, and okay, if it was, okay, but I'd believe it if it wasn't. I'd believe it if it were arson to make you look, to out of pettiness, right? Out of spite. Oh, spite's a terrible thing, isn't it? Spite's a terrible thing. Yesterday, the eagle was out early in the day. It was real close. I was sitting outside, and it was real close. It was like in a tree that was like right above me or something. I was looking around. I couldn't see it, but it was real close. Brody was real quiet. He's just sat next to me, and he was like looking. I'm like, yeah, you be quiet, dude. There's birds out there singing now. There's birds out there singing now. So, anyway. How are we gonna stop Putin? How are we gonna stop that bullshit?